Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. Today I'm going to do a general collective update and tarot and oracle reading for the spiritual and or twin flame collective. So I pulled the first oracle card of Rebirth, and I'm getting chills right now as I'm looking at this card, seeing the fiery energy of the phoenix, but also feeling this heavy in the eyes, kind of needing to sleep energy. And the Rebirth card says, no matter what happens, you can find new wings, rise from the past, accept the positive change that is coming. And I'm really picking up on this kind of incubation period, a period of being in the womb, of needing that rest, so that you can come out of this transformation in the strongest and most authentic and aligned way that you possibly can. And we're also getting the dance and the elegance card. And so I'm immediately picking up on this vision of, if you're going to move in this time of reflecting and rest, it should be an elegant dance rather than any kind of like warrior action or like aggressive or energetic or chaotic action. It should be an elegant dance with life, everything that you do. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Faith card, and we're also pulling the Hanged Man tarot. So there is this message of believing that you are on the right path, you're not alone on this journey, and that your angels and spirit guides are beside you. And when you ask for help, it will come. When you believe this full-heartedly, you are able to shift your perspective. This is why the Hangman is coming out, because it's that empowered ability. And I'm getting chills again. It's the shift from relying on your external circumstances to focusing and finding the energy within to choose to feel better or choose to feel empowered. And it's not to say that we bypass difficult or negative emotions or experiences, but it's to say that we always know that within is where we have the answers. So keeping faith, and again with the dance card, it's about releasing resistance with life. So what does this actually look like, and how do we actually do this on a day-to-day, especially when we are going through really heavy, sometimes difficult and challenging transformations? How can we go through these rebirths and keep the faith the best we can, and keep our head up and keep dancing elegantly with life rather than resisting it or worrying or getting into these funks or getting into these egoic traps of feeling like we don't know what's going on, or we're lacking that kind of control, and we're questioning our worth, we're questioning our luck, we're questioning our future. How can we, on a day-to-day, when our emotions can ebb and flow and our mind can take us on many different trails of thoughts, how can we find that foundation to bring us back to our center? And we're getting the intuition card and the illumination card. So yeah, I'm getting such chills with these cards as well. It's allowing the wisdom of your intuition to illuminate to you the path forward. And I feel that this collective has been on a journey of really learning what their intuition feels like and what it's there to teach them, and just developing that relationship that we have, instead of our mind that has often held the reins and taken charge, taken the lead, our mind and our ego. Instead of that, we're shifting to our intuition, our body, our heart, our feelings. And it's allowing us to partake in that dance. And I'm seeing this analogy or a vision of somebody in a dance class learning the steps with their mind, where they want to get the step perfect, and so they are intellectualizing it and they're moving their body in the way that the instructor is showing them, but it's stiff because it's very by the book and it's very conceptual. It's not really embodied. Like, they understand on an intellectual level the concept or, the literal instructions of the dance, but they're not really feeling it in their body. And so there's this shift when you see a really good dancer who is not only kind of loose and flowing with the steps, but who is also feeling the steps in a way that speaks to them and feels good to them. So if you can kind of envision that analogy of, are you going through life kind of forcing yourself through these dance moves, or are you flowing through it? And maybe that takes more of an improvisational or kind of like a winging it attitude, rather than feeling like you have to follow this structured choreography. So if that message is for you, you'll know it is. But that was just coming through as an analogy for anyone who may be feeling like they're grasping too tight onto the motions of life that they feel that they need to be going through. So with the intuition card, this is about you knowing, and it relates back to the faith card and even the Hanged Man, of us choosing to believe. This is an inner knowing that you have, that we really all have. And it's just a matter of whether we focus on it. Because where you focus, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're focusing on your mistakes, or if you're focusing on your difficulties to an extent that's counterproductive, then you're pulling yourself out of that inner knowing. You're pulling your focus away from your gifts and your skills and your talents. So there is this necessary faith that is required for you to hold with you as you continue to navigate down this journey of that sacred respect and honoring of your intuition, and allowing your intuition to drive your life. And so utilize that hangman energy where you are committed to showing up with this devotion to your intuition, and in ways where you may have previously approached a situation with a certain perspective or a certain mindset or a certain feeling, take the empowered stance and make that choice, knowing that you have the power to make this choice, to shift that perspective and focus on all of the magic and blessings that your intuition is ready to bring you. So, in other words, if you're navigating through life in a more stiff or intellectualized or like a mental focused or egoic focused way, then it really just takes, with the snap of a finger, the remembrance that I'm hoping to inspire in you right now, this remembrance that you actually have the ability to navigate through life instead in a way that is heart and soul aligned, and that is focused on the beauty and the magic of life, and that is focused on your intuitive abilities and the synchronicities that are right in front of you. And the knowing that all of this will help you continue to spiral upward with more blessings, more abundance, more opportunities. And this journey may feel lonely because your intuition is so unique to you. Your intuitive process, even when you're partaking in creative projects, it is so unique to you. There's really no way that you can copy or imitate another person's creative or intuitive process and have it still be authentic and aligned to you. So all you really need to do is remember that this is a unique journey that is your journey. And you simply just need to begin. You just begin to show up. You begin to navigate through life in a way where you're committed to remembering your intuitive power as often as you possibly can. And you're also committed to that grace when you have moments or situations or periods of time or phases where you may forget this at some point, which is a completely normal human experience to go through. But as long as you're showing up with the devotion to remember your sovereign power, your intuitive power, then you're on that upward spiral. So if you're somebody who has been navigating through life in this hardworking, endurance, mind-focused way, use that endurance, alchemize and channel it into your intuitive abilities instead. And of course, this is the rebirth we're talking about. This is the shift, and it can be extremely heavy. There can be a lot of resistance when you're so used to showing up in a certain way and it feels familiar or it feels comfortable, or it's like the neural grooves or the neural patterns that have been firing for many years. It can be really difficult to shift those so that they're not firing by default. But if you utilize the endurance that you've been using in one area of life and you shift it and alchemize it towards another area of life, then you're on the right track. You're continuing to remind yourself that you have your own inner voice guiding you always, and you will get back onto that upward spiral. And sometimes it takes us multiple journeys of finding our way back home over and over again. And that's just part of the rebirth. That's part of our transformational evolution. So there's really no shame in whatever direction you're in or whatever point you're on in this journey. You always have your intuition as your home base. You always have that wisdom to tap into and lead yourself back home to that higher perspective. So when you do this and when you commit to that intuitive path, you really allow yourself to slow down. And that's what's bringing me back to the beginning messages. And I've been getting chills throughout this entire reading. I usually try to say it out loud when I do because I think that it's an important signal, but I've just been getting them pretty consistently. So I do feel like this is a powerful message for the collective. And I was being pulled back to my beginning message of feeling like your eyes are really heavy or feeling like more rest is needed. I'm also hearing like some of the collective may be feeling like their physical health has been not suffering, but struggling maybe. I don't know if some of the collective got sick, or maybe you pulled a muscle or hurt your back, or maybe you had some kind of temporary sickness. And I'm hearing like that was your signal to slow down. And when we live this intuitive life, we by default naturally live a slower life as well. And the reason that that's so important is because it keeps us anchored into that home base intuitive wisdom. And when we're in that home base state, we are in touch with our inner world, and the veil is thin. The veil between your physical body and your, the bridge of your intuition that connects you to the energetic spiritual realm, it becomes a very sturdy and clear connection. So you're able to shed light on the guidance that you need. And you have faith, you have hope, you hold these beliefs, these positive, nurturing beliefs, like a seed that you're planting. And when you commit to that faith and that seed is planted, it's only going to continue to support your upward spiral. But when you're holding on to worry or fear, you are doing the opposite of planting that nourishing seed of manifestation for your life. So it's really important that you have that awareness of what you're holding on to, what beliefs are you holding, because the clarity will come from that self-awareness. And another way to think of this is you're going to have your faith and your beliefs in something. They're going to go somewhere. You know, for many of the younger generation that spends a lot of time on social media, especially before their prefrontal cortex is developed, they're getting a lot of their beliefs and values from social media, from the external world. And I mean, regardless of social media, those at a young age are typically forming beliefs based on their environment. And so think of it this way, as like you have a reserve of energy that's going to always be placed in your beliefs and your faith. So when you have the self-awareness and the commitment to tapping into your intuition so that you can be the most authentic and aligned version of yourself, then you have the power to decide where your faith and your belief is placed, where it goes, what direction it goes. So perhaps a better analogy is that the hope and the faith and the beliefs that you have, rather than it being the seed, it's like your decision of where you plant the seed, which will dictate where it grows and what kind of a spiral you're on. If you're spiraling up, if you're spiraling down, if you're staying stagnant, right? You get to decide where you want to plant your seed. And showing up consistently to water it and to choose to focus on what inspires you and what brings you joy and makes you feel love. Like, what do you love to do? Regardless of even relationship love, but just what parts of life do you feel such an innate love for? So I'm really feeling like during this rebirth, there's going to be a shedding of light on, I'm also hearing like a surprise, a hidden treasure, like something subconscious is going to come to the surface. And I'm also feeling like this collective may, especially if you're feeling a period of depression or feeling like you're in a funk or feeling like there's a lot of challenges or struggles you're going through, I'm picking up on this intuitive message that you're going to feel like you're more behind than you are, and then you're going to have a pleasant surprise where your intuition really shines through for you and you realize you have been doing the work, even though you may have forgotten or you may have lost sight of it, or you may have kind of like becoming nose blind to something where you're so used to it. You're so used to being such a transformative and self-aware person that sometimes you can become nose blind to it, where you forget that you still are transforming, and you may for a second feel, or for a period of time, for even months, you may feel like you're stagnant, when the truth is like the seed is like in this, I know I'm mixing metaphors here, but it's like it's in the womb, right? It's growing. It's just you can't see it yet. Like it hasn't sprouted yet. So I'm just going to pull a few more tarot cards to see. We have the 9 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands. Wow, that's a lot of fire energy. This is definitely speaking to the rebirth card, and I'm getting chills again. Just that fiery Phoenix rebirth energy. And yeah, I mean, the 9 of Wands talking about feeling like, okay, I just had a cough attack, so I had to pause, but I feel like that was definitely part of the message, which is, you know, when somebody has a cough attack and it sounds really bad, like it sounds like they're choking and it's just really loud and chaotic and everyone's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? But like, we as humans know that when you have a cough attack, like it just needs to get out and then you'll be okay. It's not like you're going to die or anything. So I'm picking up on this energy, and my throat has been also just kind of feeling kind of scratchy, and like, so that could be some throat chakra growth that is required for this collective of speaking your needs. You know, you might want to take some time to reflect and even journal on in which ways, and of course my cat is chiming in as well, in which ways you can maybe speak your truth or communicate your needs more with the loved ones around you, with the people in your life. Anyway, so with this 9 of Wands energy and my cough attack, I'm picking up on this experience of feeling like there was a situation that was so challenging, and like a cough attack, it was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? I'm seeing 555 on the clock as well. And it feels, when you're in it, like just absolute chaos, lack of control, just pure struggle. But ultimately, if you can zoom out a little, and this is where the intuition and illumination cards are coming in, you know, when you're having a cough attack, like, you know, you just need to get the cough out and then you'll be good as new, right? Like, there's really nothing to overthink or be too fearful about, right? So with the 9 of Wands, there's this knowingness that you have the inner strength and you have the resources to pull upon, to call upon in any kind of situation, you know, and choosing that courage is something that you are prepared to do. And there's also a message about the wisdom that your personal experiences, your past experiences have brought you, and being able to call upon that, the resilience that you have built through your life experiences. And then with the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands, this is that rebirth chapter that we are coming upon. I'm also feeling into Aries season, so we'll be sure to keep an eye on that timing. I know we just started Pisces season a little bit ago, but I'm really feeling like it's okay for you to continue to rest, continue to dance elegantly with life, continue to prioritize your intuition above any kind of external action or movement. And allowing this time of, you know, whether it's your cocoon phase or you're being in the womb, or, you know, you're just burying the seed, or you're just now planting the seed, you know, allowing that time for your energy to marinate. And, you know, with the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands, it's fire energy, but it's also the beginning phases. It's the planting of the seed. It's the planning ahead. So allow this time to really marinate and reflect, knowing that on the other side of this rebirth is going to be this, you know, powerful phoenix that is ready to take action and ready to have that more quick movement. So I'm going to leave the reading here. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comments what resonated. Thank you so much for being a part of this collective and for being here and for listening. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.